It's finally over. The game finally ended. I thought the game was still going on. I thought it would never end. 12th inning, 13th inning, 15th inning, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. I thought it was going to go on forever. That just had that type of feeling. Padres take the early lead. Phillies come back. They take the lead. Padres tie it. They take the lead in extras. You tie it. Bryce Harper comes up clutch off Josh Hader. You own him, by the way. Jeff Hoffman, 2 fantastic innings. Also with Trey Turner possibly saving the game at shortstop. But then the bats, the first time around in the 11th, couldn't get the job done after Brandon Marsh laid down a bunt. Somehow Gary Sanchez made that play. Stott would have been safe if he didn't slide off the bag. Hoffman has to come up clutch again in the 12th. He does. Then, the bottom of the 12th. Rojas gets the bunt down. Schwarber put the ball in play. That's exactly what he did. Basic fundamentals. That's what it took to win the game. Something that the Padres were not able to do. And you figured out how to. Move the runner over to third base. You get a ball in play. You win the game. That's exactly how you do it. Man, what a series win. And there were times throughout this game, I'm not going to lie, I thought it was over. I just had that slight feeling with the way the offense was throughout the early stages of the game. I thought this was going to end up as a series split. I really did. But the offense came to life after a Bryson Stott solo shot. And then Kyle Schwarber does his thing again. He goes deep. So what is that now? 3 home runs in 3 straight games for Kyle. 3 home runs in 2 days, basically. So Kyle Schwarber's bat looks like he's waking up a little bit. JT comes up clutch in this game as well. Basically, the entire top order of this lineup did a lot of things in this game. Schwarber did his share. Turner did his share. Bryce, JT, Stotty. It's basically what you did. You didn't have Castellanos in this game. You didn't have Bohm in this game until later on when he was eventually subbed in. But with that bottom part of the lineup, they didn't really do much. Thankfully, for the top of the lineup, they got the job done. They came up when it mattered most. And that's the one thing I have been stressing over the past, couple of days or so. Like I said yesterday, Stott, Marsh, Bohm, those guys have been coming up all day long. Well, basically all year long. Castellanos as well. It's time for the bigger boys to put on the big boy pants and step it hell up. Schwarber, Turner, Harper. Those guys have done that in these past 2 games. Oh boy. Even Brandon Marsh did some things today. I forgot to mention him too. Sadly for Rojas, I believe it was during that inning where the Phillies took the lead. I believe that was in the bottom of the 6th. Sadly, he struck out twice. I felt bad for him, in my honest opinion. But also, in some negative things about this game, Drew Ellis and Derek Hall, specifically more Derek Hall related. He's not a major league player. And also, Rob Thompson said before the game that Bryce Harper is going to be playing first base at some point in the Milwaukee Brewers series this upcoming week. You have the off day tomorrow, and then you start Tuesday right back at it with the Milwaukee Brewers, who have won 4 straight games. I believe they just swept the Cincinnati Reds on the road. So they're a hot team coming into Philadelphia. 2 hot teams playing each other. Let's see what happens. But Derek Hall is not a major league player. He had a nice moment last year when he came up, when Bryce went down. Derek Hall's not a major league player. I'm sorry. He just can't. He can't hit he can't hit anything. He cannot hit anything. Not hitting anything for power. Just whiffing on a lot of crap. Doesn't look right. Does not look right at all. So thank God we're getting Bryce Harper at first base sometime soon. Within the next few days, actually. Also, in talking about the pitching for today, Zack Wheeler definitely wasn't his best self. Definitely was not. But he battled. He still went 7 innings in this game. Let's not forget that. He went 7 innings. I compare this to a start that was very similar to Taijuan Walker last week against Tampa Bay. When, he was walking a bunch of guys, but he still battled and kept the team within it and still went 7 innings. Allowed minimal runs. It does suck that he allowed a couple of home runs in today's game, but Wheeler battled. He kept you involved, eventually enough for your guys to come up and give him the lead. Sadly, he didn't get the win in today's game because, Gregory Soto really struggled with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Walking 2 guys with 2 outs, that comes back to kill you. And then Rob Thompson, maybe, lackadaisical on the decision-making. This is where also not having Sir Anthony Dominguez and Jose Alvarado come back to hurt you. Because now Gregory Soto gets exposed more. And during that situation, maybe you can get someone else up in the bullpen a little bit quicker to, because the Padres, they have Fernando Tatis on the bench who didn't start this game. He comes up to pinch hit. He drives in 2 runs. He ties the ball game up. So maybe a little bit lackadaisical by Rob Thompson there, not realizing that his reliever has lost the strike zone. Marte comes in, he finishes off the inning. Then Kimbrel comes in for the 9th and does his job. Then Strom actually came in for the 10th. He did allow a run, which is not shocking. Was a sac fly by Juan Soto, also resulted of a pass ball by JT Realmuto. So in honesty, if that pass ball doesn't happen, the Padres don't score in the 10th. And the Phillies win it in the 10th with a Bryce Harper 2-out single. Because Bryce Harper, choking up on Josh Hader, finds a way to get a hit, lines it up the middle, scores a run after Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner weren't able to do anything. So that's nice to see Bryce Harper. He's getting his groove back. The home run yesterday, he consistently is getting on base. He's getting hits. Bryce Harper is so due to go nuclear, and I cannot wait for it. And I cannot wait for it at all. I can't wait. He is going to go nuclear. He just is. He just is. But also, you got to give a lot of credit to this team, man, throughout this entire series. Basically starting from, the game 1 of the doubleheader. Constantly fighting back from behind. And who knows? Maybe that gives a lot of, benefits going down towards the later part of the season. Maybe it does. You're coming back from behind to start the second half. It shows the resiliency in this team. And Jeff Hoffman, too, in the 11th and the 12th. Pitching some huge innings. No runs allowed. Shutting down the Padres. Everything there. Just everything. He came up so huge for you, he deserved to get the win for the ball game. Get out in the bottom half of the innings and get the runs home. Sadly, they didn't do it in the 11th. Hoffman gets the job done again in the 12th. And then thankfully for Kyle Schwarber and Rojas bunting over the runner to third base, which was Sosa, you win the ball game. And you win a series to start off the second half. Love it. I absolutely love it. Like I said, I would have been disappointed if you split the series, but hey, I am happy as ever. I am loving it. Loving the resilience of this team. And it's really huge now because you're seeing Kyle Schwarber, his bat wake up, his power come to life over the past couple of games. And if that carries over to him going nuclear as well, that is such a huge difference maker for this team, along with Bryce Harper waking up. That is such a huge difference maker. It just is. It just is. It makes a whole huge difference for this team. It does. Now you get a nice day off tomorrow to at least rest the guys in the bullpen, which would be huge for them. So that's going to be nice. So yeah. Keep driving through. Keep this momentum going. You're now 9 games above 500, which is huge to see. You're 51-42 on the year. Love it. I love it. You're gaining some ground in the wild card standings because I believe the Marlins did get swept by the Baltimore Orioles, so that's nice to see. So I got to see what the standings look like in that sense, in terms of the Marlins standings-wise. Yeah, the Marlins are now in the second wild card spot. The Giants moved up into the first slot. Diamondbacks are now in the third wild card spot. You're now a half game behind the Diamondbacks, and it looks like you're a game behind the Miami Marlins. So that's nice to see. Yeah, they did get swept by the Baltimore Orioles. So the Marlins have a very tough schedule in the second half. They played a really good team in Baltimore, and they got swept. So maybe that's reality coming to hit the Miami Marlins there. So we'll just continue to see how that goes forth in the second half for them. Because what's their upcoming schedule, too? I want to see that. So after Baltimore, their schedule does ease up a little bit. They play St. Louis and Colorado. So it does ease up. Then they play Tampa for 2 games. So their schedule does ease up over the next 3 of 4 series with St. Louis, Colorado, and Detroit. So you definitely got to wait for that. But then after that stretch, they play the Phillies for 4 games. They play the Rangers, the Reds, the Yankees, the Astros, the Dodgers, the Padres. So that's a very tough stretch for them. I know they've handled business against the Phillies this year, but it's a really tough stretch. So the Phillies just got to keep winning games. They got to keep winning games. That's the most important thing. That is the most important thing. Keep winning, keep winning, keep winning. So let's go over this game. Padres start off, leadoff shot by Kim. Padres go up 1-0. The Phillies offense takes a little bit to get going in this game. Zack Wheeler, he just looks a tiny bit off the start to this game. The command isn't there, but he doesn't really, it's not doing much, but he does allow a home run to Bogarts. In the top of the 4th becomes a 2-0 lead for the Padres. Then top of the 5th, Carpenter with a double to lead off the inning. Then Grisham gets a double. 3-0 Padres in that standpoint. Bottom of the 5th, Stott leads off with a home run. Makes it 3-1. Maybe that wakes up the boys a little bit. Wheeler get the shutdown inning in the top of the 6th to keep it a 3-1 game. Kyle Schwarber, 1 out. Solo shot, 3-2 game. Trey Turner reaches it on an infield single. Bryce Harper doubles down the line. You get second and third. Then you get a nice little funny exchange between Harper and Turner as they're on the second and third base before the next batter comes up. And Bryce is literally just trying to say, you could have ran there. You're fast as hell. You could have possibly scored. And they're just laughing back and forth through each other. So that was very funny there. JT then gets a double. Scores 2 runs, puts the Phillies on top, knocks Sekalugo out of the game. So the Phillies eventually got to him. Bullpen comes out for the Padres. Stott singles. Marsh walks to load the bases up. Ellis then draws a 4-pitch walk, but then Hall and Rojas strikes out. Like I said, Rojas struck out twice in this inning, so I kind of felt bad for him in that point. So I'm like, oh man, just give the kid a break. Just give the kid a break. Top of the 7th, Wheeler gets a nice 1-2-3 shutdown inning. Bottom of the 7th, Phillies go down 1-2-3. Cosgrove was still on the mound, so I guess he found some type of confidence there. Top of the 8th, Gregory Soto on the mound. Gets the first out, then Kim doubles, and then Soto grounds out. So you get 2 outs against Manny Machado. Walks him on 5 pitches. So, first and third. Walks Bogarts on 4 pitches. So 2 outs, 2 straight walks. In comes Fernando Tatis. 1-1 count. Allows a 2-run single. Game tied up. So, kind of thought Rob Thompson should have been a little bit more aggressive there. Seeing his pitcher is struggling with 2 outs to find the strike zone. Maybe you bring in Craig Kimbrell to get a 4-out save. Maybe you bring in Marte to get out of the jam. Just a little bit of extra thinking there. I know you want to trust your guys, but in that instance, Soto lost the strike zone. And it was a lefty against a righty. And I'm not that big, going, even though it was against the Padres, Machado, Bogarts, and then eventually Tatis. That's 3 righties in a row against the lefty. I know Soto can throw gas, but when he's not finding the strike zone, it's not as deadly. It's not as deadly. So Padres tied up. Bottom of the 8th, Phillies don't do anything there. They go 1-2-3. Craig Kimbrell gets a 1-2-3 in the top of the 9th. Bottom of the 9th, they don't do anything either. Top of the 10th, Soto gets the sac fly, eventually after the JT passed ball, which allowed the ghost runner, to get over to third base. So Padres take the lead in the 10th. Bottom of the 10th for the Phillies, Schwarber strikes out, Turner grounds out, which allows the ghost runner to go over to third base. And then Bryce Harper, single, ties it up off Josh Hader. So Josh Hader even can't save the Padres from their doom. 0-1 count 2 to Harper. Just found his pitch. Slider that just hung right over the middle of the plate. Puts it right in the center field. Drops right in front of the outfielder. Ties the game up. JT does get hit by a pitch, but Stott wasn't able to do anything with 2 runners on. Top of the 11th inning. Hoffman sets the Padres down 1-2-3. Bottom of the 11th for the Phillies. Marsh tries to bunt. Gary Sanchez fields it, slips a little bit, still somehow manages to get the throw over the third base as Stott is running over there. Stott gets out. On the replay, Stott would have been safe if he didn't slip off the bag. It's a great play by Sanchez, though. How the hell does the worst defensive catcher in baseball make that play? I have no idea. He did, though. And this was after Trey Turner absolutely robbing Sanchez of a go-ahead hit in the top of the 11th inning. So that was huge. Defense was playing in. Sanchez with a ripper right into the glove of Trey. Had to dive to make it. So that was fantastic. That saved the game. Sadly, the Phillies didn't do anything in the bottom of the 11th, though. Top of the 12th. Another 1-2-3 for Hoffman. Fantastic stuff. Bottom of the 12th. Rojas gets the bunt over. Moves Sosa over the third. And then Kyle Schwarber with a 1-2 count. Just finds the way to get the bat onto the ball. Puts it into the outfield. Deep enough. And also at Juan Soto, so you know the game's over then. Deep enough to score the run. Phillies win the ball game 7-6 in the 12th. How nice. How nice. Look at the lineup today. Kyle Schwarber 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs, a solo shot, and a sac fly. Trey Turner 1 for 5. Bryce Harper 2 for 5 with an RBI. JT 1 for 4 with 2 RBI. Bryson Stott 2 for 5 with an RBI and a solo shot. Brandon Marsh 2 for 4. Ellis 0 for 2, but he did have a bases loaded walk, so I guess he did something. Alec Bohm 1 for 2. Derek Hall 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. He is absolutely useless at the plate. Nick Castellanos did have a chance in that bottom of the 11th inning, pinch hitting. Got unlucky. Grounder, hit the mound, and really stopped any momentum it had going up in the middle. So that was unfortunate in that situation. Edmundo Sosa didn't really get an at-bat. He was just the ghost runner and also a defensive substitution. And then Rojas sadly went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts in this game. Looking at his average OBP and slugging, they're all the exact same at 273. That's funny. Phillies with runners in scoring position, they went 3 for 11. They left 7 runners on base. Looking at the pitching today, Zack Wheeler, 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 0 walks, 7 strikeouts, and 2 home runs allowed, 101 pitches. He bared down. I'll give him credit for that. Like I said, it's like the replication of the Taiwan Walker outing against Tampa Bay a week and a half ago, before the All-Star break. That's what it reminds me of. Give it a nice golf clap. Give it a nice golf clap. You bared down, you settled in, and you kept your team involved enough for them to give you the lead. That's what I did. That's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. Rest of the pitching staff, Soto, was not good in his appearance. Allowed 2 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 2, did not strike out anyone on 20 pitches. Marte got out of his situation on 6 pitches. Kimbrel comes in for the 9th, was absolutely dominant in the 9 pitches, struck out 1. Strom allows a run, walks 1, strikes out 1, 19 pitches. And then Hoffman, absolutely dominant, no hits, no walks, no runs, 1 strikeout, 19 pitches. Kudos to Jeff Hoffman. Fantastic stuff there. Fantastic. Fantastic. More than you can ask for from him. Way more than you can ask for. Now you get the off day tomorrow. And they did say before the game, too, why Bowman, Castellanos were given the day off. Obviously, for Castellanos, it's most likely just because... Maybe because of the collision yesterday in Game 1. And also... just because he hasn't gotten a hit this entire series, he's kind of slumping since, going into the All-Star break. So maybe just give him a day off of his feet just to relax. And then for Alec Bohm, they're saying he's just dealing with some leg issues. So that giving him the day off of his feet was one of the reasons why. So another day off tomorrow. We'll see what happens for the Brewers series. And we'll see what happens there. But overall, you got yourself a series win. Electric stuff. Electric stuff. A lot of comeback wins. Some bullpen guys coming up huge. Bats coming up huge. Especially your top guys. Harper and Schwarber especially. Some fun stuff. Keep it going. Keep it going. That's all you can do. Keep the train going. On to Milwaukee. On to Milwaukee. Day off tomorrow. Brewers coming to town. I believe Aaron Nola has the first game of that series, if I am not mistaken. believe Aaron Nola does. Yep. It's going to be Aaron Nola, Christopher Sanchez, and Taijuan Walker on Thursday. It is going to be Aaron Nola going up against Julio Teheran. That is a name I haven't heard in a while. He is 2-3 with a 3.64 ERA. In his last 2 games, he's gotten absolutely roughed up. 6 earned runs against the Cubs and 7 earned runs against the Mets. But he hasn't pitched since July 3rd, so I wonder if something happened in between then. But for the rest of the series for the Brewers, their pitching is to be determined, so we'll definitely see what happens in that standpoint. But they have won 4 in a row coming into this game, I believe. Yep. They have won 4 in a row. They won the series against the Reds just coming out of the All-Star break. They've won a lot of games against the Reds, actually. They played 2 series against them. One before the All-Star break and one directly after. They won the first series before the All-Star break at home, 2 out of 3, and they swept the Reds on the road. So they've won 5 of their last 6 coming into this game. So we'll see what happens. But a good thing, you're not facing Corbin Burns coming into this series, which is nice. Which is nice. You're not facing him. You're not facing, who else? Freddie Peralta. You're not facing Holby Milner, even though he was an opener. Who started that game for them? This game, actually, for Milwaukee. Who started? No, Hauser. Hauser started. You're not facing Adrian Hauser. I wonder. But I wonder who is going to be pitching for them besides Teheran. That'll be interesting. That'll definitely be interesting. And then after this Brewers series for the Phillies, they will face the Cleveland Guardians this weekend on the road. Then they come back home, they play the Baltimore Orioles. Then they go on the road. After an off day, they'll play the Pirates, and then another 4-game series against the Marlins. So, it's a little bit of an up and down schedule right here. Tough team, weaker team, tough team, weaker team, tough team, weaker team. So it's a bit of up and down, basically. Let's see. See what we can do against this Brewers team. You're basically neck and neck in the standings around the same record. Looking at the standings overall, Phillies, they are 51-42, a game behind the Miami Marlins for second place in the NL East, and they're also a game behind them in the wild card standings, which is nice. The Milwaukee Brewers, they are 52-42 as well. They've won 4 in a row, so they're playing better baseball as of late, but they have a -8 run differential, so I'm not sure what that accolates to. Looking at the rest of the divisions, the Cincinnati Reds have been slumping. They lost 4 in a row so far to the Brewers and 5 out of 6 to them. So they've fallen out of first place in the Central, and I believe they've fallen into that wild card spot, if I am not mistaken. No, they have not. They've fallen out of the wild card standings, actually. They're 2 games out of the last wild card spot. So yeah, and then the rest of the NL, Dodgers are still in first place in the West. Giants are now in second place. And then the Diamondbacks, who have lost 4 in a row, they're in third. The Giants, they have won 5 in a row. This team still does not make sense to me. They just don't. They just don't. I guess they're just a neat, well-meshed team, I guess. See, the Rockies walked off the Yankees, though. Looking at the American League, every single team in the American League East has won at least 50 games. Tampa Bay is 60-36. Baltimore is 57-35. Toronto's 53-41. Boston and New York, they are all 50-41. And the Yankees are in last, 6 games above 500. That is crazy. That is crazy. The Yankees would be in first place if they were in the Central of the American League. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. It looks like all the wildcard spots are most likely going to be held by American League East teams, if not for maybe one team in the American League West. Because the AL Central, every team sucks there. And then the AL West, Rangers still control that division. Astros are in second place, and then the rest of that division. So yeah, not much else going for there. Not much else. Got yourself a series win, that's all that matters. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Keep winning series. Keep winning series. We do have a voicemail here before we end it off. You can leave those at 215-839-9885. Your thoughts and opinions on everything. So let's get to what Sean has to say.
Are they still playing Amadeo? What inning is it? Have the Phillies crossed the plate with the winning run yet? I mean, what a game. I mean, that game felt like a 7-game series. First of all, I think it's safe to say we can officially eliminate the San Diego Padres from playoff contention in the 2023 season. they will officially now be sellers. I mean, it's just funny with all the craziness of that game that it came down to two basic baseball fundamental plays. Rojas being able to get the bunt down and push the runner to third, and Schwarber with two strikes being able to put the bat on the ball and drive it deep enough to the outfield to drive in the winning run. These are the kind of games that if they do make the playoffs, you look back on and say, here's a good reason as to why. MVP of today with everything that happened, Jeff Hoffman. I mean, two solid shutdown innings out of the pen. And if not for the pass ball by JT Realmuto in the 10th, Matt Straub did his job too. I mean, just a solid win, came off the deck against the best reliever in baseball. Now on to Milwaukee on Tuesday night.
Exactly. I did see someone in the chat bring up the umpires. Holy fucking shit, the umpires in this series. Overall, this series umpiring was so goddamn bad. It was bad. This is probably the worst stretch of umpiring I've ever seen in my goddamn life. It was so atrocious. What is a strike zone, basically? Because you could throw one pitch in the same exact location, you'll get 5 different calls. Seriously. One pitch, one will be a strike, next will be a ball. It'll be a ball again, then a strike, then a ball. It doesn't make sense. One pitch that's directly right down the middle of the plate is called a ball, but then a pitch yay outside is called a strike. I got nothing. We're getting closer and closer and closer, the fucking robot umps. Any day now. Because this is honestly laughable. MLB should be looking at this goddamn series and firing this entire staff. Because that's how bad they were behind the plate. That's how bad they were. The entire series. It's not just one game. It was not just one game. One off umpire. Okay, that guy's bad behind the plate. You didn't even see one good game from an umpire behind the plate this series. Not one. Not one. I know if you look at those umpire scorecards, they'll have 95%, but look at some of the calls they miss and how bad they are. There was one strike zone where I saw where here is the strike zone right here. Here's one up here called a strike. And then one right in the middle of the plate called a ball. How does that fucking make sense? How? It makes no sense at all. It doesn't. It's embarrassing. It's a joke on how bad this umpiring has been this year. Seriously, it feels like it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. I don't know how it could get that bad. But it has. And I don't know if there's any way to fix it. I don't know. Robot umps. Getting closer and closer to that. Closer. Jesus. It's embarrassing, it is. It's what it is. Oh, God. Screw the Padres. Came back from behind again. Yes, we did. Can we send Derek Hall down and release Ryan Ellis and Kobe? Not Ryan Ellis. Drew Ellis. Thinking Flyers on the brain. I see one comment here from Renee. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Let's go Flyers. That's what made me think of freaking Ryan Ellis. Honestly. Holy fucking shit. Ugh. Phillies victory. Amazing win. Even taking 12 innings. Padres must be sick coughing up 3 straight 3-0 leads. Yeah. They must be sick. They definitely must be. Actually. No, I don't think it wasn't 3 straight 3-0 leads because in Game 2, it was 1-1. Game 2 with the doubleheader yesterday was 1-1 tie. So they didn't cough up 3 straight. But they still have blown leads. That's still, credit to that. They still have blown leads in 3 straight games. Nice day off tomorrow, and then Brewers Tuesday to Thursday. Exactly. Yep, Kyle Schwarber is back. I think Castellanos will break out of this slump. He's been too good this year. I think he's just going for a little rut. Maybe he was due for it. So who knows? But yeah, I don't think there's anything on Twitter in regards to anything from what? I don't think there's anything here. Let's see. Let me see. Don't think there's anything. No. No. No, I don't see anything. I do not see anything here. Well, I guess that means we are going to end this off, boys. So, let's go and do it for today. I thank you all for joining the streams as always. Do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to check out everything in the description. Also, hit that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service. Join the TTP Sports family. And also use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeaTGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thought I could end this off without sneezing. I guess I was wrong. But we are ending it off. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining tonight. Go Phils.